in this edition focuses on green and clean rural India. Now, Konoma of the Nagaland is one of the first green villages in India under the concept of Word Life, which is lifestyle for environment. There have been various efforts, whole of government and whole of society as one of the missions which has been engaged in. Now there are various community assets that have also been created under the Open Defecation Free Plus programs, which focuses on the Govardhan plants, focusing on drainage, community soak pits, waste collection and compost pits. And some of the important aspects include creating a child-friendly village, water-sufficient village, having a green village, self-sufficient infrastructure. It should be socially secured with good governance and should be women friendly. Now to actually have that embarked, there were various schemes and interventions that were done. It was on the behalf of Gram Sabha, Panchayat committees and volunteer groups. There have been various mappings which have been done for water bodies, for land use, for forest, for biodiversity, wetlands, and then bringing in resolutions for Mission Life. Now Mission Life has been launched under the COP26 as a sustainable living, which has been focusing on eco-friendly approaches. So rather than having a use and dispose economy, it should be a circular economy where things could be recycled and reused, and this begins with change in the demand. So rather than having a culture of consumerism, which is use and dispose, we need to move to a circular economy, and this would be a change in the kind of demand which has been forecasted across the various regions. Now some of the case studies include those from the Kundal Panchayat in Maharashtra, Sultanpur in Telangana, Minagadi in Wayanad in Kerala, Palli in Jammu Kashmir, and so on. There have been various community development programs which includes revamped Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, which strengthens the institutions for rural local governance and have a better technological plan. Gram Urja Swaraj Abhiyan, which has been launched by Ministry of Panchayati Raj, talks about self-sufficiency in terms of energy. There has been renewable energy development and solar energy systems which have been involved for solar, hydel, wind and biogas. Clean energy and green initiatives have been important. The clean technology by 2047 would be one of the major developments, and this would include solar pumps, solar powered milking machines, milk chillers and so on. There has been focus on increasing the use of renewable sources of energy, bringing in government policies and initiatives, and bringing in a capital investment towards net zero objective. Allocation of various infrastructural projects is important, and moving towards green hydrogen, another an important concept. In light of all these, in rural areas, self-help groups have played a major role. So capacity building programs, all women self-help groups are some of those. And then shifting towards greener technology, this would include green hydrogen, low carbon technology, low cost long-term capital which should be involved, and then also focusing on clear water, clean water for greener village. Jal Shakti Abhiyan is another important mission where it says that catch the rain where it falls, when it falls, and that is an idea for rainwater harvesting, water conservation. So geotagging the water bodies, setting up Jal Shakti Kendra, creating afforestation and creating awareness has been main objectives, and this includes Amrit Sarovars, which is dedicated to the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Then we have the role of Gram Panchayat. Now Gram Panchayat aims to reduce the plastic pollution, environmental pollution. Steps have been taken for mapping the land use patterns, water bodies, bringing in sustainable utilization of resources. There have been various ministries, departments and institutions working in line. Action points at village level include various aspects which vary from school, health, education to farming and to better quality of life under sustainable development goals. So clean water, clean air, energy conservation among some of those. The next is Solar Village scheme for inclusive development. Now India has focused on the nationally determined commitments for net zero goals by 2070, and to have that into account, solar village development schemes have been conceptualized across the various rural areas, which focus on demand assessments, innovative business models. Solarization of village have started in Dharni in 2014. There have been various commercial establishments as well as households which have been taken into light. Similarly, we have Barapeet in 2015, which is in Odisha's region close to Bhubaneswar. Again in Gujarat, Modera is one of the such examples where Gujarat government and Ministry of Non-Renewable Energy has worked toward establishing a battery storage system of 15 megawatt hours for solar power projects. So current electricity supply in rural as well as urban needs to be taken into account. So urban area has relatively less power outages or cuts as compared to the rural area. Rural area has only 20 hours of supply on an average. Also, there is 5% primary healthcare functional centers which are without electricity. 12% have no electricity supply at the sub-health centers unit. So all these issues needs to be taken into account. The power of digital technology must grow. Therefore, we need to bring in Digital India initiatives for bridging up the digital divides. There are major challenges which have been faced, which includes lack of awareness, digital divides, lack of resources and coordination. The next is the Watershed Organization Trust in 1993, which is an internationally recognized non-profit organization and a think tank which focuses on development of rural communities and focuses on creating watersheds to reduce soil erosion, increase the biodiversity and water management. Namami Gange project is another such important mission, revitalizing the region in and around the Ganga river by active participation, removing the pollution hotspots, engaging the people, bringing in potential developments of the technology. The next is Center for Environment Education. CSE, which was founded in 1984, is a non-profit organization and it has a range of activities involved which includes environmental aspects as well as education for sustainable development. With its various blogs, videos, documents, it has been bringing in awareness campaign. The next is Digital Green Initiative. Now again, this is a platform where collaboration with farmers have been advocated for crop diversity, for agroforestry, for conservation agriculture, promoting food security, bringing in information to small farmers, and then agroecological approach which talks about clean and green villages, bringing in socio-economic, environmental, nutritional, health and cultural development. 65% of the population lives in rural area, 47% is dependent on agriculture, and nearly 6,40,000 villages with 83 crore people have been working for it. Now the PM Pranam scheme, which is PM program for restoration, awareness, nutritionment and amelioration of Mother Earth, has been launched to make the region free of chemicals and pesticides, focusing on alternate use of fertilizers. So this would be a way out where also we talk about production of biogas, manures, marketing, bringing in livestock integration. There have been various job creations which have been done with bringing in biogas industry as one of the major industries, a smoke-free fuel that can be brought with a lot of skilled and unskilled labor being involved into it. The components of Green Village, as we have already discussed, vary from energy to health to schooling to clean energy and solid waste management. Now in the Indian region, we have one good example of Tilonia in Rajasthan, which has been an inspiration. Now there has been a social activist who has been honored for techniques for bringing village healthcare green solutions in the region. Similarly, we have villages in Ladakh, Rajasthan and Himachal which have been restored using local traditions and technology which require minimum energy. There has been a top-down facilitation of Panchayati Raj institutions. Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Yojana have been released and a local indicator framework has been brought into account. Also, crop residue management is a really important technique. Under crop residue management, ecological sustainable solutions have been brought. Threshing, harvesting and primary processing of the plant material for safe recycling and disposal needs to be done. We are also talking about bedding materials for livestock, animal feed, soil mulching, biogas generation and so on. There have been various regulations which have been brought. For example, NGT has viewed stubble burning as a serious matter of concern, prohibited agricultural residue burning in certain parts of NCT of Delhi. Also, if a person violates it, there would be a pay for environmental compensation that has to be done. There have been various guidelines which have been revised. For example, central government has revised the guideline for off-site residue management to facilitate alternative use of paddy and straw supply. Techno-commercial pilot projects have been released. There is also surplus paddy straw which needs to be taken into account. Pusa decomposer is a new technology which has been developed by ICAR and it actually decomposes the stubbles biologically through a microbiological solution which is available either in liquid or capsule form, and it fastens or accelerates the process of decomposition of a straw. Now this has been used along with organic carbon nutrients and brings in long-term sustainable solutions for paddy straw. So those are some of the important things that we have discussed under Kurukshetra in this edition. Thanks for joining in. The handouts would be available at ExamRace. Do follow the links below for more information.